Hey y'all, Ham here. No, I did not. Oh, hey. Okay, I'm not gonna figure this out. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, hey. No, I did not bypass this cold season. I tried really hard. I just have a stuffy nose. Thank God it's nothing crazy. Hope everybody else is doing okay. I'll take this big jacket off. Panya loves ham. Does anybody watch that movie? It's like a Japanese animation. I'm not like a huge like anime fan, but like a couple things. My kid likes really eccentric, kind of cool, interesting things. So we watched it. I think it's really cute. Okay, so this video is just ideas I've had and like some tips on just like dating and being in the dating world as a single parent, right? Sorry if I sound stuffed up and I'm hard to understand. I'll try to articulate the best I can. Now I made my video on sex as a single parent, and that was one philosophy. And I'll probably make a part 2 to that video to kind of, you know, see another side of that idea that I had. Go check out my video somewhere down there. I did it last summer. So we all know dating in general is, you know, hard to maneuver. You know, you have to, you know, be in the mood. You have to be interested in the person. They have to be interested in you. There's like a lot of factors. You have to have the time. You have to like make time for this new person in your life. But when you're a single parent, you have a lot less of that free time. Like I even say to myself, like I was talking to one of my buddies at the gym today, and these people who advance quickly in jiu-jitsu and stuff because they're training 5-6 days a week. Well, I physically can't be there. Like, yes, I'm just home sitting around, but I need to be physically home watching a child, you know? And I don't have someone to kind of pawn them off on. Yeah, I could send them to their fathers, ask grandma and grandpa, but like that takes away my time with them. And I'm the kind of parent, and not everybody feels this way, I want every moment I could possibly have, especially when they're young, you know. The circumstances in which I had my child, you know, I want to make up for lost time that I felt I had during the time I had with my ex that wasn't always positive. So, you know, I want to live that positive life, and I want to, for myself. I mean, my kid always had a great time, but just for myself mentally and physically, like I want that time with my kids. So that puts another layer to it. So when you're trying to date as a single parent, you realize you don't have a lot of time. So when you're looking, like, and I go back and forth, like if I were to, you know, meet somebody, is this something I would mention right away? Well, maybe not on the first date. I mean, you could, like, oh, you might scare them away. But like in the same breath, like, do you really want someone who's not interested in a, you know, someone with a kid? But sometimes it's a lot to swallow, and you want to maybe give someone time to get to know you a little bit, almost like loop them in so that they can't say no. But you know, what I want to say is, even if you do meet somebody that you're really interested in and you want to spend a lot of time with, like, you still need to prioritize your child. And here's why. Just think about when you were a kid. You know, you want to feel like you're the most important thing in your parents' life. Yes, at the end of the day, they are going to grow up and live their own life, and now you want to have a companion, and it's okay to want to feel that way. But that's your family. Your kid, that's your family, you know. They say even when you get married, like your kid, like you could end up getting a divorce one day, but your kids will always be your kids. Some people have another philosophy, like you need to be dedicated to your spouse more than your kids, you know, I don't know. But my personal philosophy is, what's the most rewarding and fulfilling to me is being a staple in my kids' life, giving them the best possible nutrition. You know, do I get overwhelmed sometimes? Am I not always being you know, amazing 100% of the time. Absolutely. Who isn't? Who's not yelling sometimes? Who's not forgetting to do this sometimes, you know? Not a single person. Oh my God, I got all my nose, but I don't want you guys to, hold on. It's like when you can't even blow your nose because it's so congested. Weird. I don't feel horrible, but like, you know, it's still like, like I thought I didn't get sick. Not too bad though. Usually if I'm sick for a while, so good stuff. We'll take a small cold. So, you know, there are times where my child is with their father, so I would dedicate that time to seeing somebody else, you know, but also you still need time for yourself to regroup, to regenerate. And I think as you get older, you know, when you used to date when you're younger, you're like obsessed, like you want to see that person like 24/7, like always be in their life, like never go home, like sleep on their front doorstep, like but this is something that I think you have to make sure you're taking slow. And what I mean by that is like, try not to feel obsessed. It's hard, especially if you come out of a bad relationship and now you're like all of a sudden someone's being nice to you and like kind of jump into the first thing that you like that's kind of like looks appetizing. You know, you need to still keep, out of anybody as a single parent, you need to keep your head steady still. It's a lot to ask because love kind of blinds you. Love makes you stupid. You start getting attracted to someone, you know, you start to like, they say like your brain stops working when you start to feel like you're in love with somebody. Like you almost get like stupider, but you know, you still want the thrill of life and, you know, to feel all that, and you can and you should. But you always have to make sure that you're getting yourself involved with somebody who, one, is okay with you having a kid, two, is responsible, three, makes money, yes, because you want them to not rely on you for money, and you may need to rely on them, you know, at times. Not like mooch off of them, but you know what I mean, like you may need, just because you have more baggage. So you have to know that this person is okay with a little bit of baggage that you're coming with. Not that it's bad baggage, not all baggage is horrible, but you don't have the dollars to spare because you're feeding, like you're already like, you already have your finances prioritized. Not that you can't chip in and help, but like you shouldn't be like their breadwinner, you know, in my opinion, unless you're like a multi-millionaire and it doesn't matter. But if you're just a run-of-the-mill average Joe and you make an average salary, like you always need to be prioritizing your kid and your and their future. This boyfriend, this girlfriend, this potential spouse one day, hopefully will be able to financially kind of take care of their end of it. And, you know, hopefully chip in for you, whoever, you know, a little bit if it works out that way. But at the very least, they need to be able to prioritize their own finances and not, you know, make it a burden on you, right? And also your time. When your time's with your kid, that needs to be with your kid. Now, I go back and forth on whether to introduce your child right away to somebody you're dating. You know, sometimes it's like the earlier the better. That way they're just used to the situation. If you like really know this person, or maybe you just want to see how the chemistry is. But maybe don't tell them it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Maybe just make it seem like, oh, let's go to dinner with my friend, you know, and just kind of see what happens. But I personally would wait a little bit of time. You know, don't just jump into that, because what if it doesn't work out and it's just stringing your kid along for like more emotional situations? You know, what if they really end up liking this person, and then like now they're not in your life anymore? They'll see that, you know, especially if you and daddy or mommy and daddy, you know, whatever, had like a rocky situation. You know, you don't want to give their next impression of a relationship, especially now that they're probably getting older, be another negative one. I know I sound like that. Hopefully that's not the thumbnail. Oh my god. We all know my thumbnails, right? I wish I knew. Do I have to pay to like choose my own thumbnail, like do all that decorative shit? Woo. Okay, anyway. So, you know, I would just make a point to like not include your kid right away. Cause like I've had a friend who told me some pretty creepy stuff with, you know, someone they were dating and wanting to get a little bit too close to their kid a little bit too soon. And even when they weren't talking to them, we're still trying to like get to the kid. So you never know people's intentions. You don't know if people are seeking you because you have a kid and they're like a predator in some way. Like you really have to think of those kinds of things. You hear horror stories all the time. So don't be that horror story, you know, be the good side of that story. And you, like I said, like if you want to show your kid now what a good relationship is, because soon they're going to be getting themselves into relationships, whether it be friendships or, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend type, depending on the age of your kids. And you want to now, from this point forward, set a good example. Like we say, kids are very resilient. So they can just move on from crap that's happened to them, even though it might carry with them in their heart in some way. But if they start to see the good, they'll remember that and they'll live with that. And they'll see that you've made an effort and made a change. And, you know, it's for the better. And just make sure your time is prioritized right. Like, you know, let's just say daddy has the kids every other weekend, maybe like one night a week, whatever. That's your time to really spend on your relationship. But disclaimer, you still need that you time. Like I would never give up jujitsu for anybody. Like we'd work around that somehow. And you know, find pockets of time here and there. And it's just gonna have to be that way. It's not gonna be convenient, and it's not gonna be the best case scenario. But that's just the life that you're living right now. You can't just have your cake and eat it too in this kind of situation. What the hell bit me? Okay, anyway. You know, unfortunately, if you have a situation where, you know, you have a lot of alone time, maybe your kids with their significant, you know, your ex more often, then you do have, you know, time to do that. But I don't know, when it comes to dating, just be cautious. There's a lot of crazy people out there. You don't want anyone to have access to your kid. Like that's with my whole social media posts too. Like everyone posts their kids and bathtub pictures of their kids, and like who knows if Bobby from high school isn't a freaking child molester, and like they're on your Facebook, and, you know, like who? Thumbnail. Oh, I gotta stop making weird faces. You know, I just like, especially like I've always been a cautious person, but like I just became extra like heightened like after I had a kid. And I don't know, there's no reason not to find love. There's no reason not to have love, be loved, you know, have everything you want in this life, but don't push your kids to the side. And I think most people are kind of keen to that. Once you become a parent, you really do realize like things are slow now. Everything takes time. You have to sit, there's a lot of sitting around. It's like going to the DMV. It's like going to court. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and get there just to wait for like 7 hours, you know. That's kind of like the nature of the beast. So, you know, and like I said in my other video, like don't be afraid if you just want like it might be best for you just to have a casual relationship where it's just kind of like a let's go out for dinner, let's have sex once in a while, and that's our relationship. That way you can fulfill your adult needs. You could go do your thing, but you're not invested in someone so much. You're not like, you don't need to prioritize them in your life as much as you do your kids and this, that, and the third. So just take caution with things like that, and good luck with your dating. This video, like I said, caps at 15 minutes, so I'll probably do a part 2 of this, but good luck dating. You're beautiful, you're worth it. You could find someone awesome just like you, and somebody out there loves you and thinks you're hot. All right, bye.